So we have a very special episode today. We've brought on our Assistant Director for the Farmingdale Small Business Development Center, Lauren Linagas. She is also the Queen of Procurement for the state of New York. That's right, I said it. Contended, if you will. But she is amazing. She works a lot with MWBEs and a lot with government contracting. And a huge part of that is your capability statement. And if you don't know what that is, that's exactly why we're here today. Mm-hmm. And so, Lauren, let's just start super basic. What's a capability statement?
So a capability statement is a one-page document that details what you can do for the government. And it's a marketing document, so it should be catchy, it should be easy to read, and it should have graphics and colors.
That's super easy and simple. All right, guys, good show. No, that's important. I think a lot of people miss, even though those who understand it, some people don't necessarily grasp that it is a marketing document.
Right,
to
right.
stand out. I was actually just explaining this to somebody, and tell me if my analogy is wrong. I said it's essentially your business card for government agencies and for seeking those.
And that's how the government treats it. And whenever you meet with a government agency, they're pretty much going to ask you for that straight off. They're going to say, where's your capability statement? Or if you send them an email, you always want to attach that to the email. It should always be at your fingertips because it's just a thing that the government wants.
Right.
And a thing that they ask for.
Thinking about placement otherwise, this is the last area we'll touch on before we dive into actually breaking down what it is and how we can construct it properly. If I'm thinking about my website, I have maybe a construction business and I'm seeking government contracts and I want to let them know. So when they come to the website, where would you, in your mind, where do you think that should go?
I would put it in a government tab.
Mm-hmm.
So there should be a section on your website that says government or government contracting. And you should put you can simply upload your capability statement right onto that page.
Perfect.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Super simple and straightforward. This is not a crazy complex process. Like you said, it's a one-page document.
Right.
And so let's dive into that one page.
Great. So as I mentioned, capability statement is something that's known in government. It's something that's used in government. So right on the top of the page, you should have capability statement on it. So it should say capability statement. Right on the top.
That's not a placeholder.
Number one.
Yeah, let them know what they're looking at.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then we go down a little bit further and we have our contact information, the name of the company and who they can contact when they need something or if they want to talk to you. You should have an address there as well, a phone number and an email. And it should be a real person. It shouldn't just be the name of the company. There should be a point of contact there.
Oh, that's great. That's a really good point because I know a lot of companies are going to have those kind of generalized email information to their business kind of a thing, but you want the person for this document.
Yeah, that's best practice.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you're going to go into a short introduction about your company, maybe a sentence or two, maybe the mission statement. And then you're going to list your core competencies. And these should be bullet pointed.
Okay.
Very easy to read what you do for the government. So very simple.
This is like just a list of services. Like
List of services.
We do this, 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 and this.
Right, exactly. Okay. Then you want to go into your past performance. Now this gets a little tricky for some businesses, especially
I was excited for this one.
especially for those startups who, don't have experience. So you definitely want to have some sort of experience when you're marketing to the government. They want to see that you have done projects before and that you're a reputable seller. So you want to have something there. It doesn't have to be government work. It can be private work. It can be something you've done in the commercial sector as well. So past performance is very important. And you want to list, if you have one, list one. But ideally, you would list 3 to 4 with a sample of what you did for that job and perhaps even a dollar amount.
I'm going to hop in here for the veterans that are out there. I work with a lot of veterans, and there's somebody in particular that I had a conversation with, and we were talking about capability statements, and he had the business formed, everything was set and ready to go. He wants to go and pounce on some contracts. So we were talking about capability statements, and he's in that predicament where he hasn't done any work for anybody yet. But the work that he's doing is the work that he does in the military. And so I offered an option for him to consider, look at the work that you've done for each of the units that you've been assigned to. And then we work on some language that translates it from the military side of the house. And we turn it into more of a business side of the house. So instead of saying your 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 82nd Airborne Division, we say an organization of 4,000 people. I was managed the information technology systems for over 4,000 units and so on and so forth. Something along those lines where you can take your actual work experience and translate that into previous history. Does that make sense? Or
You could do that as a last resort.
last resort.
Last resort.
Yeah.
But ideally, it would be business experience
100%.
from your business.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the next section is differentiators. Another one that's a little tricky for businesses because this is something that sets you apart from your competition. And you're going to list that, maybe 2 or 3 good examples. And what I forgot to mention before is that a capability statement is not a static document. It can be changed depending on who you're marketing to and where you're marketing. So the differentiators can change from agency to agency, from event to event that you're going to. So maybe you're marketing to an agency that is down the block from your office. Location would be a differentiator for you because you are located so close to them that if there was an emergency or you needed to run over there, you could. So differentiators can be tailor-made to the agency that you want to work with.
And would you say it's a good idea to actually tailor make them to the agency you're looking to work
Whenever you can. So if
it's just like a resume, right? Or
Right.
like a job application, your resume, the resume you're putting in for one job, you're not going to highlight necessarily the same things if you're looking for another job.
Right.
You're looking at what they're looking for and you want to highlight the experience and what sets you apart for that role.
Exactly. So the capability statement should be tailor-made to where you are going or who you are speaking to. So if you're going to an event or an expo with federal agencies, you want to highlight maybe federal work that you've done or things that the federal government cares about. For example, like a CAGE code, you're registered in sam.gov. Those are the types of things you want to highlight. If you're working with local and state government and you are looking to market to them, you want to highlight those certifications you may have with the local and state governments. So these capability statements can be tailor-made. Ideally, what you want to do is showcase why you're a good fit for that agency. So maybe even customize the core competencies, customize past performance. Everything can be customizable to fit the agency you want to work with. And then corporate data. So corporate data is just all of that miscellaneous stuff about your business that the government wants to know.
We've left the fun topics.
Yes, right.
And we've gone into the mandatory.
Right. So your sam.gov CAGE code, if you're working with the federal government, that's something you want to highlight. Like I said, local and state certifications, wherever you're certified and what those certifications are. Your NAICS codes, your product service codes, all of those industry codes that identify what you do. If it's local government, they may care about the NIGP code, which is another industry type of code. It just depends on where, you're marketing to.
And so all of that, all the certifications, those kind of the background. So it's to make it clear distinction from past historical work that you've done, that's there, but those certifications go into your corporate data. Okay.
Right. And so we put this up here for our viewers so that they can see the different sections that the capability statements should have. So just follow this example and make it interesting, make it fun. Pictures are always great. Only be one page because that's what the government's looking for. They don't want to have pages and pages of bulk to print or to carry around if you're going to an expo. So have it on one page, PDF it, email it when possible. Like I said, it should be a marketing document. It should have colors and your branding. You can hire someone to do that for you on Fiverr.com or
absolutely.
Upwork.
Yep.
You don't have to do this all yourself if you're not gifted in the graphic design.
Yeah, and it's surprisingly affordable
Yes.
to be able to do that, especially with a simple document like this and what you can get back, especially the more information you give, the better it's going to be. So if you have a particular color palette for your business, you send that to them, you send them the information and you say, this is what I need.
Yeah,
Put this
exactly.
out. So, and for your own reference, if you're interested in just doing it yourself, you can look online and just look up capability statements and you're going to find a plethora of images of the different ways that they're kind of laid out. If you know people or if you're going to like a trade show or a resource fair, grab a bunch of them while you're there.
Right.
Like they're going to be all over the place from other people that are doing it. So take a look and see how other people are portraying themselves, and it might be a good idea generator.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it. That's it. That's all we need.
Crazy.
So you got it. We have gone through the capability statement. And so this is our second to the last episode for government contracting. We're going to do one more that is responding to an RFP. How important is that?
Yeah. And something that is requested a lot from small businesses. I got this long document that I have to read. Well, how do I go through it? How do I respond?
Yeah. Yeah. So once we get to that point, everyone's ready, geared up. We did all the work to get there. Now what do we do?
Right.
So that's what we're going to talk about. What do we do?
Great.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah. Thank you.